Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca ummul kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami, dan kasihlah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami, dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Walhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, kita bersyukur pada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, pada pagi ini kita dapat meneruskan kelas kita. Jadi mungkin awak tertanya-tanya, tiba-tiba saya MC. Jadi selepas keluar daripada kelas pada pagi semalam, saya menghadiri mesyuarat sehinggalah tengah hari. Kemudian bila saya nak balik ke bilik saya kena sakit pinggang yang teruk dah. Dan saya pergi ke klinik dan dirawat di situ dan diberikan MC semalam dan hari inilah. Okay. Jadi tadi mula-mula saya bercadang untuk nak pergi ke kampus ni, tetapi keadaan tidak mengizinkan. Jadi kita sambung kuliah kita dengan kita melihat satu contoh dulu. So kepada kawan-kawan yang belum boleh masuk lagi dalam meeting ini, minta mereka menggunakan email student UiTM supaya dia boleh masuk secara direct lah. Masuk secara direct, tak perlu admission. Okey. Jadi saya akan share satu dokumen PDF. Okey. Semua nampak ya? Okay, yesterday we learned about the theory of biological asset. We learned about the theory of biological asset, and today we are going to look at the example how the biological asset is presented. How the biological asset is presented in the statement, statement of financial position. So we can see from here, this is an example XYZ dairy. XYZ dairy. And this XYZ dairy, the main business of XYZ is the production of milk. So we can see in this particular statement of financial position as at 31st December 2000X1, okay, we can see normally in the statement of profit or loss, we are going to start with revenue. But for this particular company, the revenue of the particular company is milk produce. So fair value of milk produce is actually the revenue of the company. So this is actually an example of harvested agricultural produce. Fair value of milk produced. And then secondly, the component of the revenue is gains arising from changes in fair value, less cost to sell of dairy livestock. So this is an example. And then how it will be presented in the statement of financial position. Okay. In the statement of financial position, it will be presented like this. We can see 31st December 20x1, 31st December 20x0. You can find here under the asset, we have non-current asset, dairy livestock immature, and dairy livestock mature. So we can see from here that the biological asset is presented in the statement of financial position, whether it is presented as biological asset or we can use the name that is, for example, in this company, the name is dairy livestock. Yeah. Okay. You can see the dairy livestock immature 52,060 and dairy livestock mature 372,990. And you can see that the total, the subtotal of biological asset for the company for the year 2000X1 is 425,050, and for the year 2000X0, 459,570. Okay, so it means, okay, biological asset, okay, is recognized as an asset, and the changes in fair value is recognized as revenue. Next, we are going to look at the cash flow, example of cash flow. So in the cash flow, you can find here cash flow from operating activities, cash received from sale of milk, cash received from sale of livestock, cash paid for supplies and to employees, and cash paid for purchase of livestock. So the biological asset were also recorded in the statement of cash flow. Okay, now, look at an example on how we are going to account for biological asset. So this is an example of physical change and price change of biological asset. The following example illustrates how to separate physical change and price change. Yesterday, we showed the change from calf to cow. And then 0-year-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, okay? And we can see the changes when it was newly born, what is the fair value less cost to sell, and what it will be the fair value less cost to sell when the age is 1-year-old, and so on and so forth. But here, we are going to separate the fair value gain or fair value change that is based on physical change and also based on price change. The following example illustrate how to separate physical change and price change. Separating the change in fair value less cost to sell between the portion attributable to the physical change and the portion attributable to price change is encouraged, even though it is not required by any standard. Okay, so normally, okay, during the test, during the final exam, okay, this type of question will come out.
Sir, you termute.
Dah lama ke mute? Okay.
Baru tadi, sir.
Okay. A herd of 10 2-year-old animal was held at 1st January 20x1. So it means we have 10 animals and the age is 2-year-old. Was held on 1st January. So this is actually the opening and the opening inventory. And then one animal aged 2.5-year-old was purchased on 1st July 2000x1, 6 months later, for 108. And one animal was born on 1st July 20x1. So another one is newly born on 1st July 2000x1. No animals were sold or disposed during the period. Per unit fair value less cost to sell were as follows. Okay, we start with the first one. On 1st January 20x1, 2-year-old animal, the fair value less cost to sell is 100 each. 100 each. And we have how many? We have 10. And then newborn animal at 1st July 2000x1 is 70. We have how many? We have 1. And then 2.5-year-old animal at 1st July 2000x1 is 108. So actually, at the end of the year 2000x1, we have how many? We have 10 plus 1 plus 1. We have 12 animals. Okay, we have 12 animals. Okay, so before we go further, let us analyze that on 1st January, we have only 10 animals with 2 years old. So these particular animals, at the end of the year, will have an age of 3-year-old, right? Okay, for the newborn on 1st July 20x1, at the end of the year, the age will be 6 months. And then for one animal with 2.5-year-old on 1st July, at the end of the year, the age will be 3 years old. So at the end of the year, we have 11 units of animal that have the age of 3-year-old, and there will be 1 unit of animal with age of 6 months. Okay, do you agree on that? Okay, and then we are going to check what will be the fair value less cost to sell of the above animals on 31st December 20x1. If there is a newborn animal on 31st December 2000x1, the fair value less cost to sell will be 72. Okay, 0.5-year-old animal at 31st December 2000x1, the fair value less cost to sell is 80. 2-year-old, 105, 2.5-year-old, 111, and 3-year-old, 120. So these are the fair value less cost to sell for each animals depending on the age and also the dates. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to start with opening balance. Yeah, we are going to start with opening balance. That is fair value less cost to sell offered at 1st January 20x1. We have 10 unit and the fair value less cost to sell is 100. So 10 unit times 100 equal to 1,000. That is the opening balance. That is the opening balance. And then the company purchase. Company purchase 1 unit on 1st July and the age was 2.5-year-old at a fair value less cost to sell of 108. So 1 times 108 equals to 108. Okay. Now, we are going to achieve our objective of separating the fair value gain or fair value change based on the price change as well as based on physical change. What is the meaning of price change? What is the meaning of price change? The meaning of price change is, okay, it is referring to animal of the same age. Animal of the same age, but of different dates. Animal of the same age, but of different date. That's why we say change in price. The age is the same, but the date is different. For example, the 10 unit or 10 animals on 1st January, the date is 1st January. It is 100. Yeah, it is 100. And on 31st December, it is 105. So that is the change in price. The change in price for the same age. So our first analysis is to show, okay, for 2-year-old animal, yeah, for 2-year-old animal that we have 10 units, okay. So we are going to compare the fair value less cost to sell for 2-year-old on 31st December and on 1st January. So 31st December is 105 and 1st January is 100. So the difference is 5. Yeah, the difference is 5. So here 10 times 5 is equal to 50. Yeah, 10 times 5 is equal to 50. Then we go to the second one. We go to the second one, that is the animal that we purchased on 1st July. Okay, and the age is 2.5 year old. Let's look at what is the fair value less cost to sell on 1st July for 2.5-year-old. The value is 108. Right? What is the value on 31st December for the same age? The value on 31st December for the same age is 111. So we can see that the price has changed from 108 to 111 for the same age of animal. So we are comparing 111 and 108. The difference is 3. And we have 1 unit animal. So 1 unit times 3 equal to 3. And the last one, we have a newborn on 1st July 2000X1. And we are comparing the value. Yeah, the value on 1st July for newly born is 70. And the value of newborn on 31st December is 72. The difference is 2. So we multiply 1 with 2. 1 times 2 equal to 2. So altogether, the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to price change is 50 plus 3 plus 2 equal to 55. So 55 is actually the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to price change. Okay. So are you following? What is the meaning of price change? The meaning of price change is we are comparing the fair value less cost to sell of animal with the same age but with different date. Next. Next, we are going to calculate the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to physical change. What is the meaning of physical change? Physical change means the change in age. The change in age also reflect the change in fair value. Yeah, the change in age. So for example, at the beginning of the year, the age is 2-year-old. At the end of the year, the age is 3-year-old. And then purchase 1 unit on 1st July 2000X1 with the age of 2.5-year-old. So at the end of the year, the age is 3-year-old. So change in age. Change in age is actually physical change. But how are we going to calculate the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to physical change? So basically, we are comparing. Okay, we are comparing 2-year-old with 3-year-old. Yeah, 2.5-year-old with 3-year-old, and 0-year-old with 2.5-year-old. And the fair value less cost to sell that we are going to take is on 31st December 20X1. So for example, the first one. The first one, we have 10 unit on 1st January. We have 10 unit on 1st January. On 1st January, the age is 2-year-old. On 31st December, the age is 3-year-old. So what is the fair value less cost to sell of 2-year-old on 31st December. The fair value is 105. What is the fair value less cost to sell of 3-year-old? It is 120 on 31st December. So we are comparing 120 and 105. The difference is 15. So 15 ringgit has changed. 50 ringgit has changed the fair value. Okay, because of change in age. Because of change in age. Okay, jadi 10 times 15 is equal to 150. Secondly, the one unit that we purchased on 1st July. So on 1st July, the age is 2.5. On 31st December, the age is 3-year-old. So now we are comparing on 31st December, 2.5-year-old is 111, 3-year-old is 120. So we are comparing 120 and 111. The difference is 9 ringgit. So one unit we have time 9 ringgit. Another one is the newborn. Newborn. So on 1st July, it is newborn. But on 31st December, it is 6 months old or 0.5-year-old. So we are comparing the fair value less cost to sell for 0-year-old and 0.5-year-old. Okay, on 31st December. So we find out that the fair value less cost to sell for 0.5-year-old is 80 and newborn is 72. So the difference is 8. So 8, 1 times 8 equal to 8. Okay, and another one, okay, this is also considered as gain due to physical change. Okay, on 1st July, on 1st July, okay, on 1st July, suddenly there is 1 unit of newborn. Before 1st July, there is no newborn. So suddenly we have 1 newborn. So when the mother of the animal deliver the baby, okay, automatically on that day, okay, we have a physical gain. We have a physical gain of 70 because fair value less cost to sell of newborn on 1st July is 70. So now we are combining all together. The increase due to physical change, 150 plus 9 plus 8 plus 70 equals to 237. Okay, 237. So what is the value of fair value? What is the change in fair value actually? The change in fair value is 55 plus 237. Okay, 55 plus 237. How much? We calculate. 55 plus 237. 192, right? 192. So now we can add all together 1000 plus 108 plus 55 plus 237. So at the end of the year, the value of the animal is 1100. So actually below 237, we must put the figure 1400. And then the figures that we have below is actually the reconciliation, whereby at the end of the year, we actually have 11 unit 3-year-old animal and 1 unit 0.5-year-old. So 11 times 120 is 1320, and 1 unit of 0.5-year-old is 80. So 1320 plus 80 equals to 1400. Okay, class. I open to any question, if any. Before we go through tutorial question, do you have any question to ask?
No question, sir. Thank you.
No question. Okay. So if there is no question, let us go through the first tutorial question. Okay, the line in my place is not that good. Okay, can you see this?
Can, sir.
Okay, example on MFRS 141 agriculture. So these are the example of question. Example of question. So for example, question 1, according to MFRS 141 agriculture, agricultural produce is the harvested product of the entity's biological asset. Give definition of the term harvest according to MFRS 141. Can anybody tell the group what is the definition of harvest? Can anybody? Can anybody give the
It's
answer?
the detachment of produce from a
Yes.
biological asset.
Yes, detachment of produce. Yeah, detachment of produce of a biological asset. Okay, that is the answer. Right. B. Give one example of biological asset and its agricultural produce. So there are many examples that we have shown the day before. Give one example of biological asset and its agricultural produce. Anybody? Can you give an example of biological asset? We have shown many examples that day.
So can it be biological asset is cow, agriculture
Yes.
produces milk.
Yes. Can use that example. Okay. Cow is the biological asset and milk is the agricultural produce. Okay. Can we have another example from other student?
Biological asset sheep.
Sheep,
Agriculture produce wool.
wool. Okay. So at least we have two examples. Actually, there are many examples that you can answer. Okay. Question C. BHR Berhad is engaged principally in breeding and trading of cattle. The company prepares its financial statement on 31st March each year. On 1st April 2017, the company owned 401.5-year-old calves. Okay. On 1st April 2017, the company owned 401.5-year-old calf. And on 1st October 2017, the company purchased 50 2-year-old calf on cash. On 31st March 2018, 3 calves were born. No animal was sold or disposed during the year, and the cattle measured at the age of 3-year-old. Okay, so this is similar to the example that we have discussed earlier this morning. Okay, let's look at this one. The fair value less cost to sell per animal was determined as follows. For the newborn, okay, newborn, when there were newborn is on 31st March. Newborn is on 31st March. So we are given with the fair 1st October 2017, 31st March 2018. Okay, because the year start on 1st April 2017 and ends on 31st March 2018. That is for newborn. And then we have 1.5-year-old. On 1st April is 300 RM. 1st October is 340. 31st March is 360. Whereas for the 2-year-old, on 1st April is 350. 1st October is 370. And 31st March 2018 is 300. For the 2.5-year-old, on 1st April is 360. 1st October 390, and 31st March 2018 is 410. So we are given a lot of fair value less cost to sell, but actually we have three items. Okay, so let's find the date. The first one is on 1st April, second one on 1st October, and the third one is on 31st March. Okay, on 31st March. So now, what we are going to do? Okay, we are required to calculate the carrying value of the above animal together with gain and losses due to price and physical for the year ended 31st March 2014. And we also require loss to record the gain or loss from the changes in fair value for the year ended 31st December 2020. Okay. So do you want to try? Actually, we have okay. If we are in the class, maybe we can try together. But because we are online, then maybe in the next class, okay, we are going to discuss other question in class. Okay. So I will show you the answer for this. Okay, so this is the answer that has been given by your friend just now. Harvest is detachment of produce from biological asset or cessation of a biological asset life process. Okay, and then example, sheep. Yes, sheep and wool, cow and milk, durian tree and durians, timber and lodge tree. But here durian tree is no more a good example because durian tree is actually a property plant equipment. Okay, so timber and lodge tree, yes. Paddy and rice. Okay, and then the third question will be on the calculation of fair value gain because of price and because of physical. Okay, so we are going to start with what we have on 1st April 2017. We have fair value at 1st April 2017, 400 unit. Okay, 400 unit. What is the age? 400 unit time 300. Okay, 100 unit time 300. Okay, and the value is 120,000. Okay, so it is a good business actually. And then purchase on 1st October 2017, 50 units. Okay, 50 unit was purchased. Okay. Actually, I cannot open two files together. One file. So, okay. Actually, on 1st April 2017, 400 unit, 1.5 year old. 1.5 year old. And on 1st October, 2 year old. Okay. 1.5 year old and 2 year old. So this one is 1.5 year old. Okay, the first one is 1.5 year old. Maybe I can put in bracket 1.5 year old. This one is 2 year old. Okay, so that is the opening balance plus purchase. The opening balance plus purchase. So for the purchase on 1st October, 2 year old, how many? 50 times 370 equals to 18,500. Okay, and then let's check the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to price change. So we have two here to be recorded. Okay, the first one is 1.5 year old. The age is still the same, 1.5 year old, and the number of unit is still the same, 400. But the price, okay, so the price on 1st April is 300, and the price on 31st March next year is 360. So when we compare, there is a difference of 60. There is a difference of 60. So 60 times 400 equals to 24,000, right? And the second one that is based on price change, we have 2 year old. How much? How many? 50. Okay. The fair value less cost to sell on 1st October is 370. And on 31st March 2018 is 380. And the difference is 10 ringgit. 10 ringgit times 50 is equal to 500. So altogether, 24,000 plus 500 equals to 24,500. That is the change in fair value because of price. Next, we calculate the change in fair value because of physical change. Okay, because of physical change. So the first one is at the beginning of the year, 1st April 2017, the age is 1.5. And at the end of the year, 31st March 2018, the age is 2.5. So 1.5 goes to 2.5 because 1 year. So we are comparing the 1.5 year old and 2.5 year old on 31st March 2018. So on 31st March 2018, 2.5 year old is 410. 1.5 year old is 360. So the difference is 50. Yeah, 400 times 50 equals to 20,000. The second one is, okay, 2 year old on 1st October. So at the end of the year, 31st March 2018, the age is 2.5. So from 2 year to 2.5, we take the price, we take the fair value less cost to sell on 31st March, that is 410 for 2.5 year old and 380 for 2 year old. So the difference here is 30. The difference is 30. 50 times 30 equals to 1,500. And lastly, on 31st March 2018, there were 3 newborn and 3 newborn. Okay, on 31st March 2018 is 80. So 3 times 80 equals to 240. So altogether, 20,000 plus 1,500 plus 240 equals to 21,740. Okay, so 24,500 is fair value change because of price, 21,740 is because of physical, and when we add together, it is 46,240. Okay, 46,240. So when we add the opening balance plus the purchase, 138,500 with 46,240, at the end of the year, the carrying value on 31st March 2018 is 184,740. Can be reconciled, whereby on 31st March, we have 450 units of 2.5-year-old times 410 equals to 184,500, and we have newborn 3 times 80 equals to 240. So altogether, 184,740. Okay, class, are you following?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And lastly, we have journal entry to record the fair value change. Okay, so on 31st April 2018, okay, we are required to record, we are required to put the journal entry for change in fair value. So after we calculate, we know that the change in fair value based on price and based on physical is 46,240. So we are going to debit biological asset 46,240 and credit SOPL 46,240. So basically, this is actually the change, the change in fair value. The fair value of the biological asset increased by 46,240, and this is actually revenue for the company. Revenue for the company. Yeah, revenue can come from price change. Revenue can come from physical change. So physically, it changed. Okay, it changed from 1.5-year-old to 2.5-year-old. Yeah, 2-year-old to 2.5-year-old. Okay, so from there, okay, we get the revenue. So this is actually the same that we have discussed earlier when we discussed the example just now. Discuss the example on how biological asset is presented. Yeah, the biological asset is presented in the statement of profit or loss. So how much is going to be presented in the profit or loss? How much is going to be presented in the profit or loss? The amount to be presented in the profit or loss is 46,240, and the amount to be presented in the statement of financial position is 184,740. And what amount will be presented in the cash flow statement? The amount will be presented in the cash flow statement is 18,500. Okay. Any question? Okay. I would like you to try the second question, and inshallah we are going to discuss the solution for second question in the next class, inshallah. So I believe that our class will end shortly, unless you have any question to ask. Anything to ask? No? I hope you understand. And please try question number 2. All right? So if you have nothing to ask, we end our class this morning with Surah Al-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Thank you, sir. Get well soon, sir.
Thank
See you again. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.